Okay, hello. This video, as a disclaimer, is for about 4 people, and they know who they are. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Elden Ring PvP, invading, why I personally enjoy it, why it also sucks, and maybe if you've not done a lot of it, you can probably maybe watch this and give it a crack, because it is really fun. So, this is my strength character. The stats I'll bring up for you. So mandatory 60 vigor. I could probably take a little out of strength actually, because the soft cap for strength is actually about 55, and especially if you're two-handing a weapon like I usually do, essentially you get sort of a 1.5 times bonus to your strength. So it's actually around 80. But mine's probably around 90, I would say, at the moment. And the minimum dexterity required to wield some heavy thrusting swords, these ones, mostly, and a couple of other weapons. But yeah, look, invading, it essentially, the aim of the game is to kill the host of a world which you invade. You can, kill as many phantoms and blue sentinels or hunters or whatever as you like, as well, but that's the goal. So essentially you're going to use one of these 2 items in the bottom left of the screen here, Recusant Finger or Bloody Finger, and that essentially will put you on the path to invading. I just want to talk a little bit about inventory and sort of using different weapons as tools for invading. I think that's kind of something I can certainly be better at. That's something I'm trying really hard to get better at. So, me personally, I love the halberds. Now, this is the Knight Rider's Glaive, and as we'll have a look here in a second, it has, when heavy infused, it's an S scaling in strength. So you're really getting the most bang for your buck by using this as a halberd. It's not the only halberd I use. I also have the Banished Knight's Heavy Halberd. Well, Banished Knight's Halberd, I should say. I've just got heavy infused. And the reason for that is because even among the halberds, there's differences in movesets and so on. So your sort of neutral attacks like R1 are going to be this combo here. Running heavy, running light. Whereas with the Banished Knight's Halberd, it's all pokes, basically. And especially because every build I usually make is about pokey weapons, so if you can have this on for counter damage and all that sort of thing. But this is the moveset, so this is the same combo, but just all pokes. Does a little less damage, but because of the sort of frame pacing or the I guess the motion values of the attacks of this halberd, it can kind of it can really mess with your opponent a little bit. So some of them, depending on what sort of weapon they're using, like if they're using a colossal weapon or a big sword or something, you can just sort of keep poking them like this and they won't, stagger them to death, basically, which is a lot of fun. Anyway, I was talking about inventory, and the reason I've got everything sort of set up the way I do, it's borrowing from a few people that are much better at this than I am, but essentially it's to have options, and to sort of, get some modicum of muscle memory in terms of deciding, situationally what you need to do and what's the right tool for the job, sort of thing. And I'll just go through a few of them really quickly. So halberds, as I've explained, I just really love using them. I would have shared my clips in the group, and most of them are with a flaming strike halberd, just like this one. So got the flaming strike, great stagger damage. You need a lot of poise to sort of tank through that, and most players will get staggered by that, and if they don't, then they'll get hurt. So that's the center of my inventory. Now, because I'm a strength player, at least this character is anyway, these lances here are great. You can dual wield them. You can, I think this one right here's got Royal Knight's Resolve on it. If you come across any like heavy shields, or if you just want to end a fight quite quickly, you can do that as well. But the reason I've got all these different weapons here, so thrusting swords, rapiers, spears, scythes, greatswords, I think these are great hammers. They're classed as great swords, great axe, more lances, more scythe, daggers, club, great axe, great spear, straight swords. All this stuff, it's different movesets and different tools. So I will do some invasions in a bit, and won't make a point of like winning or anything like that. It'll mostly just be to sort of try and use a few different things to see if it catches anyone off guard. It can certainly in duels, but the reason that you've got all these things is so you can change it up. So let's just go like really, really soft target. Let's try and attack these goats or something like that. So let's just do one attack per weapon type. So, alright, then you go back in, lance, and then you can completely different sort of moveset, motion value, like attack speed, all that sort of thing. And then, you know, again, with the scythes and Ashes of War as well. So it's sort of a combination of weapon types, and Ashes of War on them. So that's what you really, really want. Very cool Ash of War, I don't use it often enough. So yeah, that's sort of why I've got everything the way that you see it there. Probably the most broken sort of weapons are probably the rapiers, two-handed, or the heavy thrusting swords. Just about every character, unless you're going like pure caster or something like that, can use them, and it's definitely worth sort of making the point investment so you can use whatever one is easiest for you to use stat-wise. And that is mostly because of two things in relation to the sort of moveset that all heavy thrusting swords have, which is the running R2, which is this, covers a huge distance, and also the true combo of jumping attack into follow-up. Can be very, very devastating. Can be really tricky as well, and pair it with something like Raptors of the Mist, which I've got somewhere here. This one. So, you know, you get hit, you end up jumping up, and then goes into the true combo. It can be very, very effective. So yeah, and just to give you a sort of modicum of, like, a sort of microcosm of why the different Ashes of War are important and stuff, like this is sort of my go-to every single time. This is the Flaming Strike, great crowd control, good lingering hitbox. So where there's latency, and there's often a lot of latency, you can just sort of throw that out there, and most of the time some idiot will just run into it and, you know, go for 500 damage and stagger. So, you know, it's a good option if you're getting pressured, or if you want to sort of be aggressive, like get someone into a corner, follow up, you know, there goes 1200, 1400 health, depending on who you're fighting. The next one I've got here, I believe, is Giant Hunt. Now, before Colossal Swords got nerfed, I would have this on a greatsword, like the Gugs, or something like that, and that is a really, really useful Ash of War. You can sort of use the same weapon with different weapon arts on it, so you can sort of mix up their reactions and stuff like that. So just to an example again, let's go fight something. So let's say, you know, let's say this goat or something is a player, and we're trying to entice them into attacking or whatever, and they sort of run away from the Flaming Strike, and then that's what they think we've got on our weapon. Okay, bad example. But then you'd sort of go into that, and then you could easily just sort of go to this as well, which is the classic sword dance, and then I think this is just a bit of a crowd control Ash of War there. And again, and I think I might have to change this because I don't really use this one very often. I might put Impaling Thrust on it. But anyway, that's sort of the reason. So that basically whoever's looking at you, whoever you're fighting, is seeing the same weapon in your hands, but you've got a different Ash of War sort of available to you. And the other good thing about Flaming Strike is this as well. You can sort of put it behind you. And let's say we wanted to just quickly change to that. Ooh. Unfortunately, the tracking is not as good as it used to be with Giant Hunt. And let's say we want to go down here. Bit unnecessary to put Endure on a halberd because they stagger everyone anyway. But that's the gist. So Moving on from that, I guess we should probably talk about the kind of general experience with invading and sort of how to set your expectations accordingly. I guess the biggest thing to know is that you're going to die all the time. Like, I die all the time by falling off things, making the wrong sort of swap, or just not being sort of really aware or being overly aggressive. It is really important to sort of have more fun and do better as well, to try and be patient where possible. Now, the vast majority of people you're going to be invading are going to be ganking, and they don't care about your enjoyment of the game. They think like just blendering people 3v1 is cool, and they think they're good at the game for it. It's really just not really worth worrying about what other people think. But just know that the vast majority of people that you invade are going to be complete morons, and they don't want anything to do with fairness. Not that the game is balanced in such a way that it can be fair anyway. But just so you know, that's the sort of thing you're going into. And it can really get you down a little bit if you're like me and you play a lot because you love the game, and you run into the same sorts of people, sometimes even the same people, using the same sort of tactics and trying to trap you and stuff. There's not really much sport in that, but I'm just letting you know that this game is full of them, and that's who you're going to be fighting most of the time. Now, that probably sounds pretty horrible, and you're probably wondering, like, why on earth would anyone want to do that if that's actually how it is? And I suppose the reason is, when invasions are good, there is really like nothing else like it. They can be chaotic, they can be hilarious, they can be really hard fought and honourable. They can just be silly. It can be a bit of a power trip as well if you run into some really inexperienced players. Not that that's a lot of fun. I usually try and help out inexperienced players where I can, with some runes, or just maybe killing their phantoms and then leaving them alone. But yeah, generally speaking, you're going to be invading into a lot of traps that people have set for you, and you can either get blended to death, you can get fog-walled, which is where the host goes into the boss room. There's a lot of boss room gankers and stuff like that, but you can kind of tell even ahead of time what sort of invasion you're going to get. I suppose gankers don't really have a lot of imagination, so the only places that you're really going to get ganked every single time, the popular ones, are Limgrave, anywhere in the Urnia, Farum, Azula, and basically up here on the frozen lake at Mountaintop of the Giants, and then realistically from Prayer Room onwards, that sort of first bit before you go into the rest of the Haligtree and so on. And the reason for that is that's where the big co-op areas are. That's where a lot of people kind of feel comfortable, and they put the Torna's tongue on, and have blues like come in to save them and stuff. But yeah, essentially it's kind of geared to be near impossible to win an invasion if the gankers know what they're doing, and increasingly so, more of them do. And the reason for that as well is, like, you can defeat all the phantoms, 3, 4, 5 of them, depending on if they're resummoned or whatever, and blues will still keep coming in. So you're going to deal with an endless stream of hunters, and usually they're not very difficult, they're not very good players. I imagine it's because they're just players who don't have friends of their own to play with, so they get summoned into other people's games and all that sort of thing, to sort of help or co-op. It's pretty pathetic, if you ask me. But yeah, those are the sorts of places. So if I do an invasion right now and I get spawned in somewhere like into Academy Gate Town, I know that whoever I'm invading is trying to gank me to death, and they're not really naturally progressing the game. They may not just be sort of doing jolly cooperation. They're sort of doing whatever the weird version of that is, where you just wait for people to invade and then gank them to death for fun, for hours. Yeah, so there's a bit of that. But if you put all that to one side, it can be a lot, and I mean a lot of fun, and pretty rewarding as well. Definitely makes you think on your feet. makes you sort of really come to grips with your inventory, your weapons. You know, so where, you know, maybe there's a situation where a Storm Stomp Claymore is going to be better, or maybe it's time for, you know, just dual pikes and stabbing them slowly to death. Like, it really depends. So you're going to come into it all, and it's just fun. It is really, really fun. The other thing I should probably point out is it's where you can invade these days is based on where you've explored as well. So you don't have to necessarily beat the boss in every dungeon or anything like that, but it's definitely worth exploring the dungeon, or at least getting the grace, like I have at most of these down here, like Giant Conquering Hero's Grave. This dungeon is very, very busy with invasions. A lot of the other sort of larger dungeons, like this one here, they're really, really, really good and very, very popular. Less popular is Caelid. Sort of this side of Leonia is less popular, and the capital, not very often. But, you know, there's going to be invasions everywhere. Like, you know, I invade at 137, I invade at, you know, 150. Before I sort of took this a bit more seriously in Elden Ring, I invaded at like 200. So there's always going to be players. So we might just sort of get started with some invasions, and I won't keep everyone much longer than that. But what I will say really quickly before I do that is talk about armor and poise. Now, you can spend 6 hours watching, you know, poise deep dives on YouTube if you want to, but just believe me when I say that you want at least 100 or 101 as a minimum, I would say. If you can do that and still mix in some fashion, then that's good, but you want at least 100 to be able to tank most weapons that you're going to be coming up against, and, you know, have a better time. Because if you've got no poise, you're going to get stun locked to death by someone like me, and that's something you don't want. I suppose other things like talismans, I don't really feel the need to talk about those. I mean, you can sort of mix and match, but I mean, if you are using a pokey weapon and you're of decent level, then I don't see why you wouldn't use these. Fan daggers, what else we got? Crabs, physic, all that stuff. Yeah, but I just chose this armor for fashion. It's basically you put bullgoat leggings on anything, and you've got a lot of poise, so you can really do what you like with the top. The only exception that I have is this helm here, which if I equip it, makes me able to... oops, I've unequipped it here. Able to use magic fortification, which is very useful because everyone uses a Moonveil. Like I'd say, probably 8 out of 10 deaths are probably getting blasted to death by one or more Moonveils. So yeah, not a bad idea to have on. In my physic, I think I've got the Crimson Bubble tier just to, you know, give me another lease on life if I get really low health. And I do have the Light Roll equipped just because I know it's completely broken, but just because you're so often fighting so many people, you know, you need to sort of get some distance on them, otherwise invasions will be over quickly and you won't really stand a chance. So with all that said, I've also just chosen this grace here as my sort of place to invade from, just because it's quite pretty. Doesn't really matter where you choose, but I've chosen this one. We might do some duels as well, but I reckon we'll probably just stick to some invasions and see what we get. Obviously, if this sucks immediately, then we'll do something else. So, and I'm not going to try and do like a lot of commentary or anything like that, but I'll do a bit. And, you know, try and swap out some weapons and stuff like that, and maybe talk about what I'm thinking about. Not that I'm saying I'm a good player or anything. I'm an experienced player, but probably not that good. we go. Are we? Or is it gonna... Yep, no, it's gonna work. This is gonna get fog walled. Yep, there we go. See? Good start. Really, really good start. That'll happen though. I think there's something... If you're starting a new character... to do PvP, I would recommend maybe getting it up to the point of the Ashen Capital, but not going into it, just so you don't have that happen to you. Same with Melania as well. Although you do sometimes get some really fun fights around that sort of area of the Haligtree. But yeah. Fingers crossed for some fun fights. Probably not though. Probably going to just get ganked to death. Like normal. Is he down there? Outside maybe? And that's the other thing, you've got to figure out where your opponent is. And I believe that they are out here. So what you want to get used to doing as well is sort of, once you see your opponent, figuring out how many friends they have. I think it's just 2. Okay, well we'll go after the other guy here first. Kill the mage. There we go. Oh. Oh damn. Okay. Well, that was easy. I was kind of expecting a bit more from that. Actually, while I'm thinking of it, I'm just going to change the Ash of War on that other halberd. And the thing is, even after the 1.07 sort of nerf, it can be like the damage is still so high that you know, the fights will be over quickly. It's not as bad as it used to be, but where you have... I should probably talk about this actually. So most people you're invading as well, they're going to have phantoms with them, and the phantoms are going to be over leveled to buggery. They're going to be level 300. They're going to be level, you know, 400, 500, 200, whatever. And they are going to hurt when they hit you. And it's not a matter of if they hit you, they will hit you, unless they're the most, like, new player ever. Always like to do a bit of jar cannon. We may as well just get into it, I suppose. Unless they're... See, these guys aren't actually... Oh, here we go. Ooh. Well, I mean, wasn't expecting this much success early. And that's the thing, you can sort of tell either by, you know, whether it's Moonveil, Withers of Blood, or some other sort of Fisher Price starting weapon, that they're probably not going to really have anything other than a lot of confidence about engaging you. So yeah, it has been pretty simple so far. I haven't had to do any swaps, so hopefully we'll... I mean, I could have, but you know, I chose not to. So I'll try and do a couple in this one depending on where we go. So these guys are either down here. They've got to be down there, hey? Yeah. Yep. Now, are they waiting for me? Okay. Could be out. Okay. Cool. Jar cannon. Can I get in? Not quite. Here we go. Well, I mean, we've got to go in now, don't we? Okay. Now we'll go down here. Now, they're probably expecting me to go in through the roof, so I won't. We'll go down here instead. Feeling Lance the stand. Oh my god, dude. Well, thank you, Landell Knights. Maybe unintentionally good strategy there. Just not getting in, not staying in the place where they're the most comfortable. Get them to either chase you, and if they're going to be really passive, then you've got a choice of either sort of just severing and going home, or, you know, trying to persist with some other sort of strategy. But yeah, this is not a bad streak. I hope we can sort of keep it up. Probably a bit stupid diving in onto them, but I chose the wrong sort of entry there, so you kind of got to live with those mistakes sometimes. And not take it too seriously. Like, it is supposed to be fun. Yes, people are awful. When they play this game, they can, you know, really get you down, and it can be pretty nasty, but it is supposed to be fun. Have fun with your character. Play the way you want to play. And, you know, take a break where you need to. So that's the most important thing. I reckon we'll do one more. And that's my cat. Ooh, here we go. Oh, I'm in the good place. So this is the cloister where you go and fight all the boss of this area and stuff like that. But this guy is not yet there. So let's see if we can knock him off. Not quite. Ooh, close. Not quite enough. I mean, we can go up there and fight him. Is that what he wants to do? He's got his bow out, so maybe he does want to. Now we'll go up and fight him. Maxi, please. What's he doing? Okay, I mean, we can do this a bit if you want. I might win if you're not careful. Oh! Oh my god. Victory. Sweet victory. Yeah, obviously if you're a strength build, use a jar cannon. I mean, I can talk about what you need to do to sort of start a fresh character, all that sort of thing. I can probably do that some other time, maybe when I have a bit more time, maybe a bit more in depth, maybe next weekend or something, but just wanted to sort of do a few of these and just talk a little bit about it. Like, if any of this stuff sounds interesting, then I think you should definitely do it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. They don't realise I'm invincible. So when you spawn in, you have a few seconds of invincibility, and these guys obviously didn't know that. So now we're going to kill this guy, I suppose. Pop his bubble. Come on. You want to pull me into the hole, don't you? That's what you want to do. Goodbye, sir. Your Phantom's an idiot. Complete idiot. But still, yeah, I'm not trying to be toxic or anything, just saying. It's a pretty dumb thing to do. The game's been out 10 months, 8 months, I should say. If you don't know that you have immunity once you spawn in, then I don't know what to tell you. The only other thing I'll just say about invasions generally is level-wise, you don't need to stick to 137 or 125 or the sort of meta-adjacent sort of levels, because, you know, like I said before, there's plenty of players at all levels, but I wouldn't say go below 80, just because what you're going to get there is essentially really, really new players with their high-level mates carrying through the whole game, and you're not going to succeed there because you're going to be dealing with over-leveled phantoms, but an extreme sort of version of them. So unless you're an extremely confident player who likes attrition, then yeah, I would say don't do that. Let's try maybe heavy thrusting sword or something. But if you want the most activity though, I would say 137, 138 is about where you would go, because you get up to, you know, level 170, you get down to 125, which is generally understood to be the level where most players are finishing the game, or at least able to finish the game. Obviously you can do a rune level 1 run if you really want to, but the vast majority of people, I think, are between 125 and 150, and 137 is, for the purposes of the matchmaking in this game, the middle ground. So that's why I've picked 137. I've got a couple of, probably 2 or 3 137 characters. They can be a lot of fun. So I think if I keep playing a lot of this, which I probably will, I might do some lower level ones, say 80, 100, that sort of stuff, because the high level ones, it becomes far less interesting. Now, that's the castle on the hill there. I recognise this guy's name. Might be a bit of a cunt from memory. Who knows? Maybe he is, maybe he's not. There he is. I can see him in the distance there. Because we don't know what he's got, we're going to go with the halberd. And might keep a wide berth for now, just in case he's doing something weird. Seems like he's got a lot of health. Does he have any friends? Not that I can see. So he's probably inside with the birds or the fire monks or something like that, I'm guessing. Yeah, he's inside. It's really about who else is with him. But we'll find out very soon. Oh, it's just him. Cool. Alright, well. Dude, I swear to God, I've not won this many invasions in a row, like, ever. It's wild. Probably didn't need to really be so awful to that guy. However, what I will say is, every single time that I've sort of gone into a world and the host has waved and I've waved back and stuff like that, they're about to gank you to death. It's not really worth it. It's best just to sort of kill them, get on with it. Unless they're being really creative, and there are some people out there who can, you know, sort of make an invader sort of feel at ease if they're sort of doing something for memes or just for fun. It really depends, but I'd say they're quite few and far between, really. Lovely. Love to see these invasions here. Ooh, here we go. So they're below me. Are they coming up? I wonder. Well, I don't think I can jarkhand them from here. Maybe I can somehow trick them. You're dead. Holy shit, the damage. Oh my god. No. And see. Ooh, am I alive still? Damn. That was weird. See, I had it. All I need to do was like heal, reposition, maybe change a weapon, and I fell off the ledge. So I don't know like how I could sort of better explain or illustrate how sort of varied and frustrating and like funny it is than that right there. What I probably should have done is I should have probably swapped to something like my Waves of Darkness lance, and then it would have been all over. Probably. We'll never know now. Unless I'm invading them again, in which case we will find out. So they're behind me. Let's roll with a lance this time to see how we go. Ooh, being very clever. I'm gonna go back up here for some cover. Stormblade, very terrible Asher Wall. Oh, fuck off with that. Law of regression, yeah, I'm sure it's worth the 36 points in intelligence to do that. Nice jump shot. I'm gonna head around this way, I reckon. Damn. Ran out of time. Yeah. The amount of damage that mage was doing though, holy fuck. That was like 60% of my health bar. Should have retreated earlier. So you do take lessons from them, and like if you do that, then you'll have more fun. But again, maybe I should have... Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done the lance. It was good initially, and then the guy sort of got rid of my buffs. It's hard to know when someone with Law of Regression, the spell, when they have it. You sort of just got to roll with it, unfortunately. Feeling a bit of lag. That's what I'm feeling. Anyone else? How many do they have? 3 is normal. Cool. This guy hasn't seen me. Go with killing him, I reckon. One down. Gotta get rid of the Moonveil, surely. Out of range. Come on. Need to get my stamina back. Might just retreat up here for a sec. Heal. Get rid of the blood loss. So who's got the Moonveil? He has the Moonveil, doesn't he? No, he's got Rivers. Okay. Oh, okay. Time for a change in strat. Oh, there's a hunter. Of course there is. Oh, here we go. Great. Oh, what? Unlucky. I should have switched earlier and finished him off. Also, when phantoms go invisible, that's really fun. That happens sometimes as well. Just a really great time. Overall, well, look, I think maybe we'll try for one more that's sort of, you know, a bit more of a fun sort of finisher. And we'll do that. Actually, no, let's do dual lances. If we can, I reckon we can. Yep, we're good. Melina herself. How good. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Haven't seen me. Oh god, don't make me kill you first. I will kill you. If that's what you want. Oh god, the L2 spam. It's incessant. Don't know how that didn't kill him. Come on. Mm-hmm. Try and space it out. Fuck off. Unlucky there. The spam though, the spam is real. Maybe should have gone to single lance. Don't know. I don't know. Okay, we'll try and go out with a win. We hopefully not waiting too long. But so I'm cognizant of the length of this video too. Just trying to think, is there anything else really interesting we can talk about? Not really. At least not unprompted like this. I really hope I get those guys again. I think I have an idea of what I would do differently. Great sign, everything's dead. Sure, it's just some honest co-opers just hanging out. No. Anyone? They're around here. Nope. Got one. Come on. Come on, guys. What's the matter? Bad idea. Oh, great, a blue. How good. Okay, I'll take the free heals. Lol. Don't know how that missed. This way will help us. Come on, come on, come on, go. Reapply the buff. Come on. I'm not even doing magic damage, you fucking loser. I need to do something else. Maybe something like these might work. Need to be careful though. Got one. Some free heals and stuff. I can probably bully him with one of these. Actually. I mean, we can. Damn. Close. There's a teabagging. Whatever, dude. Probably should have gone back to Flaming Strike. I don't fucking know. It's hard to know. I mean, you know, that's a lot of... I killed one Phantom, one Blue. Could have probably done a bit better, but yeah. See, I should have really ended this while I was winning. It's important for me to take my own advice and not get too sort of disheartened by stuff like that. I mean, like, it's so heavily geared, especially with the Phantoms and just the sheer numbers, that, you know, you're going to lose most of the time, unfortunately. I got pretty close with those guys, but just got stun locked and ran out of space, unfortunately. Oh no, not the Moonbell. Yeah, come on. We'll just do a neat little teabag. There we go. He didn't really do anything too wrong. But he did have a Moonbell, so mages, generally speaking, deserve nothing but disdain and a point down or a teabag, depending on how you're going. How much bullshit they've made you sit through. And with mages these days, it'll usually be a lot. So you've just got to make sure that they know that you hate them, sort of. Yeah. Oh great, spawn ganking. Cool, guys. Come on.
Hey! Hey!
Fuck off.
Hey!
Don't talk to me.
Hey!
You want to come here? Great. Scaredy cat. There you go. Suck my balls. Can I kill him? Oh, water. And the last thing that I'll say, this will be the last invasion. So I guess if you're patient enough and you have the ability or the know-how or all of the above to sort of wait out your opponents, they will fuck something up, and you will be able to capitalize on that. So old mate, like, throwing a pot at me, you know, that was his, that was the end of him, basically. There's not much longer I have. I've got a couple of minutes left. This will be the last invasion. Thank you, fellas, for watching. I hope it has been good. This is going to be awful, this invasion, I guarantee you, if I don't get fogballed. Oh, no, too late. Well, look, bit of an anticlimactic ending there, but that's going to be it. So I hope that it has been enjoyable. I hope it's worthwhile. You've found it worthwhile, I should say. And I guess if you want me to make another one for you fellas, I definitely will. Have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully see you doing some invasions soon. Thank you.